going to start off talking to President Steve Mills and Scott Perry. Earlier, we announced a trade with Oklahoma City. Details are in the press release. So we're going to start off with some opening comments from Steve Mills, our president.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming and joining us today. First off, I think we'd like to thank Carmelo Anthony for everything he's done for the Knicks organization, everything he's done for the city of New York, and we certainly wish him well in Oklahoma City. And on a time like this, I think it's important to talk about Carmelo as a person. I've had the fortune of getting to know him very well over the 4 years I've been here, and he is a tremendous person off the court. He's used his sort of brand and who he is as a basketball player and as a person to support some very important social issues. I have had the opportunity, I think 3 years ago, to Puerto Rico with Carmelo, and I could see how much that community means to him as a person. I've watched his charitable efforts in Puerto Rico, his court dedications, his charity events, how he's interacted with the business community there. And with that in mind, we've decided to donate $100,000 to his hurricane relief project because we know it's important to him and we want to thank him for everything he's done for us. We've always been consistent with you that if we ever found a basketball deal that made sense for us and made sense for Carmelo, we would execute upon that, and that's really why we're here today. And I'd like to let Scott talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, before I get into the details on that, too, I also want to thank Carmelo Anthony and his representation, too, for their professionalism throughout this process since I've come on board in mid-July. As we sat here on Friday morning with you guys, with many of you, we were perfectly ready that Carmelo Anthony was going to be back in the Knicks uniform, because that's where things were at that time. But as I've come to know during my 18 years in the NBA, things can be very fluid. So by Friday night and into Saturday morning, early hours, things really picked up with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we felt at that time that there was going to be something there, and to our point all along, that was going to make a little bit of sense for us as a basketball organization. It made some sense for Carmelo as well, and so we acted upon that. And so we sit here today. In the trade, we felt like getting back two 25-year-old players in Enes Kanter and Doug McDermott, both who have some solid skill sets. Enes is a young man who has proven that he can score the basketball on the interior, ranked in the top 5 players in the league in terms of his ability to score off the bench. He displayed that at Oklahoma City. And then, obviously, Doug McDermott's ability to make shots from the three-point range. And then we also were able to acquire a very valuable draft asset. So we felt that the timing was right, and what we were going to get back was something that we could work with in a positive manner. I don't know that you can, fully put how much or how little that impact has. All I know is that, when I got here, and we've obviously addressed all the issues before, that we were just going to do something that worked for us. If it didn't, under the parameters of the no trade clause, then, but obviously something presented itself, and we felt good enough about the deal, and we moved forward. If we didn't, we wouldn't have moved forward.